Yay Networks.
Welcome to the Great Girlfriends podcast, where we discuss life, love, laughter, and everything in between. I'm your host, Sybil, and I can't wait for you to hear all of the Great Girlfriend magic on today's show. So without further ado, grab something great to drink, grab your pen and your paper, and get ready for this week's episode. Enjoy!
Me time is not a luxury. So for those of you that just joined, I just wanted to frame our session around me time is not a luxury, because so many of us grew up in families where we saw women work very, very hard. And that's not to discredit their work or their efforts or anything that they did. But I do want to frame us around me time is not a luxury. It is a necessity for our mental well-being, for our emotional well-being, and for our physical well-being. So today we will explore the significance of me time and provide practical tips on how to incorporate this into your daily life. So I'm checking the chat, and we have some people that share their challenges, and a few things for those of you that are on Facebook is a challenge for someone. For Lillian, she said consistency. I mentioned that disconnecting from technology is a challenge. Also another challenge, Nadella, I hope I'm saying your name correctly, mentioned that the issue was learning not to feel guilty or selfish about making my self-care first priority. Very thing that we framed around. We cannot feel guilty about this time. So I love that you shared. If you're in the Facebook group, if you would like to share one thing that is a challenge for you when it comes to me time, and hopefully I can address that to help you move forward without feeling any guilt, or helping you develop some type of plan around consistency. All right. So first thing we're going to jump into, you all, is the importance of me time. So we know that we juggle so many different things as ladies, handling our families, handling ourselves, handling work. Me time is so important because it's going to allow you to reduce your stress. Reducing your stress is very important, not just for your emotional wellness, but also for your physical wellness. We know that we hold stress in our bodies. And so it's so important to take that me time, because it allows you to reduce your stress. If you're constantly going and going and going and never take time to unwind, it's going to show up as stress in your body, and that could turn into other physical ailments. So it's so important because of stress reduction. Also, me time is important for your mental clarity. You may have heard of something called decision fatigue, you all. And so when you're constantly making decisions for yourself and your family, and you don't take any me time, you're impacting your mental clarity. You're impacting how you make those decisions. Because if you're constantly exhausted, you may not be making the best decision that you would if you had been taking that me time. So allowing yourself to reset through me time will allow you to solve problems better, allow you to interact better. Another important reason why we need me time is because of improved creativity. We all create in many different ways. You may not see yourself as a creative, even if you're not a content creator, or you're not leading something huge. No matter what, big or small, improve creativity. It could be something as writing, your opportunity to daydream. That's creativity. Decorating your home. Sometimes we move into a house and we're so busy, we don't decorate the way that we want to, and then our space doesn't feel good. So it's so important for us to take that me time. A final reason that I will share, because I like to share the importance of things and why we need to do them. The final reason why it's so important to take that me time, you all, is for increased self-awareness. When you're taking time out and you are helping everyone. So for example, with myself, as a caregiver to my mom, she needs a lot. She takes a lot of different medications. I have a 4-year-old, I have a 5-year-old, and a 13-year-old. So if you have children or caring for elderly parents, their needs are always, they come so consistently. They come every day. Every day they need something from me. It feels like almost every moment. And so the importance of me time will allow you that increased self-awareness, because you'll be able to make those better decisions when you've taken time to reset. It will allow you to reflect on your own personal goals. What is important to me? Yes, I know what's important for them because I'm caring for them. But when you take an opportunity to sit in your own me time, which we'll get to because it looks different for everyone, it will provide you to be more well rested, more emotionally balanced, and better equipped to love on those that we want to love on in the first place. All right. So I'm checking the chat. Thank you so much. Naps are always allowed. Okay. Naps are always allowed. I love that. Now that we've established the why, which we know the why is always so important. And for those of you that just joined, one thing that I want to reiterate is me time is not a luxury. You may have grown up in a home where you watch people work really, really hard. So I want you to understand that me time is not a luxury. It is a necessity. So we just talked about the why of why we have to have this me time. And now we're going to jump into some practical ways to incorporate me time in your own life. If you would, in the chat, what ways do you take me time? Anything. It could be big or small. Please share it with me in the chat. Please share it with your great girlfriends in the chat. So the question is, if you missed it, how do you incorporate me time in your life currently? Big or small? Even if it's you just lock that bathroom door when you get home for 15 minutes. Not a lot of space, but that's okay. Just share with us. Those of you on Facebook, you also share. Share with us, what are you currently doing for me time? I love that, Tanisha. Marlene says she goes and sits by the lake. I love being near water. That is huge. Sybil going on trips. Okay, walking through Saks and Nordstrom. Always some inspiration there. Reading, watching movies. Get quiet in loud spaces. I may want to hear more about that. Long evening window routine and pray. Take naps, dim lights while bathing, showering with candles. All of these, and I'm just reading from our Zoom, so I'm sure that there are some others that are being listed. Marita says she sets boundaries, and we're going to talk about that a little bit today, you all. More health conscious, huge. Another one we're going to talk about. Disappearing and spending day at the Korean bathhouse. I love that. I need to visit there. Romance audiobooks. So thank you everyone that is sharing. Please continue to share those in the chat. All of these things that we do that you just named and that you're looking to continue to do for your me time is so important for you to schedule it. That is the first thing I want you to do. I meant to put number one, schedule it. Schedule it out. The same way we add everything else to our agenda. We got to go here. We got to go there. We have this meeting and we're on time for those meetings. And we show up beautiful and we show up doing all the work, helping everybody else. When you open your calendar, where are you? Where are you listed? You're doing everything for your job. You're doing everything for your partner. Add yourself to the calendar. Add it. If that's blocking out your lunch so that no one is bothering you, so that you can go eat lunch during the day without being asked questions. For parents, that could be, listen, I just saw a face like one of those, yes, put it on your calendar. I have gotten to a space, you also, I was saying, if you're a parent, add those children's soccer games and basketball games and gymnastics to your calendar. When they go to bed, add to your calendar whatever it is that you want to do. And put your phone on do not disturb. It is your time. If you're a partner, let your partner know once a month. I would love for all of you to get out of the house. It may be, if you want to be home. You may not want to be home because if you're anything like me, you may start cleaning up. And that is not a part of my me time. So depending on what your jam is, some people like to clean. That's part of their me time. Whatever it is, okay? Whatever it looks like, schedule it. I'm telling you, I know I can look at you all's faces and I know you showing up for that job. I know you showing up for your business. You don't miss a business meeting. You do not. I know you don't. That's why you're here today. Schedule those things that you know that you love to do on your own calendar. No one gets to disrupt that for you. So that's number one. You got to schedule it. Okay. Put yourself on that calendar. I'm just checking my notes because I want to make sure that I hit on everything that I wrote down today because this is serious. Okay. Here's one that I struggle with. So I had to make it personal. Disconnect from technology. Turn off your phone, turn off your tablet, your computer during your me time. Now, of course, if you're reading your Kindle and that's a part of your me time, that is very different. But it needs to be on do not disturb so that you're not receiving messages from Instagram that somebody such and such did something, some celebrity did this, or your friend did this. Put it on do not disturb or turn it off completely if you can. If it's a walk around the lake, yes, you may need your phone on your person for safety, but it can be in your purse. It can be in your pocket. Disconnect from technology. Find an opportunity to do something else. That could be meditation. That could be taking a walk. We know that that's great for our health. But number two is disconnect from technology. Sometimes you all, I can speak, this is my struggle. Because I do schedule everything and I'm always present, I'm always making sure I'm showing up for my kids and my mother and my husband and everybody else and my job. When everything is done on my phone, I can check my emails. I can add things for the kids' calendar. So when I'm on the phone, my intention could be just to reply to an email, but then another notification comes through and now I'm completely distracted. So I just encourage you to disconnect. If you're anything like me, I have to put it down. I don't turn it off just in case there's an emergency, but I absolutely will maybe move into another room if I'm going to go read a book so that I don't have to worry about it. So just incorporate ways that you can disconnect from technology. Oh, Sybil, thank you for adding number two. I'm going to number three. So number three, and before I say this one, I know that this is going to sound cliche, so I want to dig a little bit deeper because as a mom, I was like, what do you mean find a hobby? I don't have time for hobbies. So before you tell me that you don't have time for an additional hobby, I want you to know that hobbies can create joy and relaxation for you. It's going to be something specifically that you enjoy doing. I'm not saying that you need to turn this hobby into a business. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about adult coloring books where you get an opportunity to color if that is peaceful for you. A hobby could be gardening. Maybe you've always wanted to grow your own cucumbers and your own tomatoes, and you're like, you could do that right in your backyard, no matter how big or small, or even on your balcony. Okay, as long as it can get some sunlight. It could be playing a musical instrument. Nobody has to hear it. It's something for you. So I encourage you, as you are on this journey of being consistent, adding to yourself to your calendar, to find a hobby, because we're often doing so many things for other people. Marlene said, I'm literally crocheting a scarf while I listen. That's it. You're investing in you, and it allows you that opportunity to be present. It allows you to be present. All right. So that was number three. Number four, I would encourage you, as you're focusing on your me time, to practice mindfulness. Now, this could be meditation. One that with meditation for me, you all, meditation, I typically do guided meditation. So if you're not in a space where you have a meditation practice, YouTube has plenty of guided meditations that you could follow along with. But one that really helps me in those moments of, okay, I have 100 things going on, is deep breathing. Taking 5 deep breaths, inhale, exhale 5 times can reset your mood. If you're frustrated, can reset your day. If you're aggravated because somebody was rude at Target or anything that's going on, practice mindfulness. Another thing that I'll do, you all, while being mindful, is checking out my surroundings. What's one thing that I can see? What's one thing that I hear? What's one thing that I can taste? Checking in with your senses. Sybil said, who dare be rude at Target? Girl, listen, people have been cutting up. I think we a little stressed. The world is stressed. But But practicing that mindfulness, you all, will help you to stay present. And being present, when you're present in the moment, it also reduces your stress, it reduces your anxiety. So being present in the moment may not feel like me time because it could be very brief, but it is. So there's no, me time does not have to be an hour-long massage, although I recommend that. It also could be taking 2 minutes to be present by deep breathing or meditating. All right, that was number 4. And if you all have any questions, I'm definitely going to take them at the end. We have a few more that we're going to go through when it comes to me time, and then we'll jump into some question and answer. So number 5 is to delegate and set boundaries. I saw this one today in the chat and I said, okay, look at you all in my business, pulling my card and calling me out. But delegate and set boundaries. As I mentioned, me time is not a luxury. And so for women that believe or subconsciously think that me time is a luxury, we often don't set boundaries and we often do not delegate, because who's going to do it? Go ahead and point to yourself. We do everything for everybody, right? Don't be afraid to ask for help. Don't be afraid to delegate tasks, because if they live in that house, they can do something too. They old enough. Listen, I have to delegate. I delegate to that 5-year-old. You in kindergarten? Yes, baby. Pick up your dirty clothes. Let me show you how to drop those in the washing machine. Because we're building practice. So delegating tasks, not that he can take on the whole task, but he's learning, and eventually that's going to happen. So don't be afraid to delegate tasks, because 1, because I know that you're used to doing everything, but also 2, there's that fear or worry that if I don't do it, it's not going to be right. It is going to be okay. Okay, the things that you need to do, you're going to do anyway. But there are some things that you are taking on that there is someone else that could help you with that. So please begin to delegate those tasks and responsibilities to others when it's possible. Setting healthy boundaries. I have a girlfriend, she's telling me, oh, things are so stressful at work, and my boss is emailing me at 6, 7 o'clock at night, and you're off work. Reply tomorrow. It's okay to set that boundary. It is okay to, who cares what time they emailed you? Unless it's urgent. And really, once you set your boundary, if your work hours are your work hours, you didn't see it until the next day. Set the boundary. No, they don't get to impede on your time. Long as you're doing what you're supposed to do, which I know we are, because we are. That's why we show up. Set that boundary. Tell no, after 6, after 5, this is my limit, and I will connect with you tomorrow, because it's going to allow you in your personal life to have more me time. Now, I mentioned work, but I think it's really important for us to set boundaries within our family as well. If children are at an age where they can do some things on their own, even if we think that they're not going to do it right, how else are they going to learn? So set that boundary with your family, a partner. You do all the laundry. Let them know this week you are at 20% and you need them to do it. Not that you need their help, because it's probably their clothes too. So I'm encouraging you to delegate. That's 2 different things, this one. Number 5 is delegate and set boundaries. All right. Number 6, we only have 2 more. So I'm checking time. We're already at 1:29, my time, Eastern time. Number 6 is learn to say no. I had to be quiet for a second after that. I had to give that teacher pause time. Learn to say no. Those people gonna be okay. If you are a natural giver, people will spin you. They will take up your time. And not just about the other person. I think it's important for us to have self-awareness of what are our limits. Because if we're always saying yes without even considering it, because, oh, I want to be there for this person. I don't want them to feel like, no, what do you need? If saying yes to them is going to take away from your me time, and you've already given to everybody else, Say no. Say no when necessary. Over committing to people, especially, like I said, y'all, these are not extreme cases. We're not talking life or death. We're not talking about emergencies, car accidents. I'm talking about things that people need. As you're going to hear my baby, but he has to be quiet. But learning to say no. Overcommitting yourself will leave you feeling overwhelmed, leave you feeling drained. And depending on how close you are with that person, it could build some resentment. You're saying yes, 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 because they're asking over and over again. That doesn't always mean that you have to do it. So not about them, but about you. What is your limit? What do you need today? So before you say yes to somebody, what do I need today? Let me call you back. I'll let you know. Okay. And our last one is to take short breaks. Many of us are so busy caring for ourselves. Let me put that one in there first. Caring for our families, doing our jobs at work, and just all the things. Please, please start taking short breaks. Even if you have a really busy evening. Last night, you all, 2 nights out of the week, we have soccer. One night, two nights out of the week, we have soccer. And then one weeknight, we have baseball. Then on weekends, we have baseball. And things get really busy in my house. So there are times where I have to take a short break. As I mentioned to you, it does not have to be an hour long, you all. It very well can be a 5-minute break to find a small pocket to breathe, to take a walk, to simply go have your favorite cup of tea. Have some water. Listen, we need to drink more water. Have yourself some water. Take a break in between all the things that you have to do. Care for yourself. And like I said, time doesn't matter, because if you're doing it every day, it adds up. So I know that was a lot, and I know that was a lot of talking to you, but I hope that if you take nothing else away from this session today, you all, me time is not selfish. Me time is not a luxury. Me time is essential for you, and you are going to add you to your calendar the same way you add that job, those kids, and everybody else to your calendar. So those are your takeaways for today. By prioritizing your me time, you'll reduce your stress, you'll have better mental clarity, enhance your creativity, and it even could strengthen your relationships. As I mentioned, saying yes all the time can build resentment. So please schedule that me time, you all, and I look forward to having a discussion. Please let me know if there are any questions, and I'm going to read the chat.
Don't log off, ladies, because we're going to have just a quick discussion right after Jessica finished reading the chat. But Jessica, you did this, girl.
Thank you so much, Sybil.
Honey.
It's personal. It's personal.
You like this thing out. Honey. Okay, I'm sorry. She's reading the chat, y'all. She's reading the chat.
Okay. It's personal, though, you all. It is, because, listen, I get it. I had my children, you all, in my 30s. So I lived in my 20s with a lot of me time. And then I had these babies, and I was like, oh, they need everything.
Yes. We're talking quality of life. And I love what you say about it. It's, you need to, where are you on your calendar? And it convicted me personally because my calendar is full of responsibilities for the day, but I'm responsible for me, and I need to prioritize me. And even though I'm taking the time out to do these things on a daily basis in some form or fashion, it's not dedicated on my calendar. So somewhere in my mind, I felt like dedicating it on my calendar is extracting from whatever the big picture is. And I was dealing with that as you were talking, but where are you on your calendar? I was like, ooh. And, like you said, taking the short breaths and being present. So many times, with all the things that are going on, there are full distractions happening for all of us all day. And if we're not paying close attention, we will think that we're a distraction. We'll think washing our face at the end of the night is a problem. And it's problem. Not. Or taking vitamins, drinking water, taking deep breaths. We'll think that it's a distraction from our work. It's actually the other way around. The work is a distraction from us taking care of ourselves. So you really were hitting home with all this. Does anybody have a takeaway that they want to share really quickly? Oh, and the Facebook comments are popping too, by the way. Everybody's over here on Facebook chiming
Oh,
in.
yeah.
Anyone have a takeaway? You want to come off mute if you have a takeaway you want to share?
Well, I live basically everything that Jessica says daily. I just wish I had learned it earlier when my kids were growing up, and now that everybody's grown and out of the way. But the tagline of my business is not selfish, just self first. And it took me a long time to learn that. And once I learned it, it became easier. It became kind of my daily routine and setting boundaries. So it's easy for me to say that now because my kids are grown, they're out of the house and the whole bit. But it's a struggle because you initially, when you start to think about yourself or even tell other people's no, that I can't do something, and they say, why? There's no why. I said no, but it took me a long time. No is the only word that's universal. So I don't care what language you speak, no is no, and it took a long time to say that. And the people who don't people that have an issue with your boundaries are the ones who don't want to respect them. And once you put that in place, it does become easier. But for us growing up, being women, if you didn't take care of everybody else first, you felt selfish or you felt, and it wasn't until my beginning 50s that I realized, no. I'm not doing this anymore. So it was kind of a rude awakening for everyone else. It was waking myself up to say, this is what I feel better about myself. And once you feel better about yourself, you feel better about other people too.
It's true.
Absolutely.
So
Lillian's in your amen corner. Lillian, did you want to share something really quickly? Okay.
Yes, I was just going to share that, I have two daughters and I have taught them, take time for self. We got to remove this pathology. You said these generational curses or this generational pathology, and telling them that they need to take care of everyone else first before they take care of themselves. So I have been purposeful in letting my daughters know, take care of self first, because you don't want to be empty walking around here. Doesn't feel good.
So good. Thank you, Lillian. Anyone else have a takeaway they want to share? I'll just say quickly, while in case anyone's coming off mute, one of the greatest gifts I gave myself, Jessica, was teaching my kids how to be domestically engaged. Anything that needs to be done in this house, they have the ability to do. We started really young because I realized we had someone that would come and clean and things, and they thought that was her responsibility. And I said, no, she's here to help us maintain our standard, but she does not work for you. And so let's pause. Let's get you domestically activated so that you can understand, what a standard looks like, and you can help us uphold it. And to this day, it's so good to see my 14-year-old son and my 12-year-old daughter managing their routine. They don't get it perfect and they don't do it all the time. But when I do have to remind them, the standard is in them. And that was a gift I gave myself. The other gift I gave myself was the ability to unplug from everything and trust that my husband's got it. He got it. That one
is hard.
It's hard because they're eating the stuff. I'm like, we passed those drive-throughs. Now I see he's at the drive-through. So they're doing all the things, but he got it. He got it. They got it. They have their own routine. When it's daddy time, they're doing what they do. And
they're safe. They're
safe. And they're happy to see me after I come back or step away, or I come out the room because I pull away for quiet time. So any moms out there with young children, I did that when they were babies. Started with giving them breast milk in the bottle because I was like, he can feed them too. They're his kids too. And to this day, now I'm able to leave and, take trips or travel as I need, or take quiet time in the house. And I realized I put in the comments, my training now is to get him to understand that my time is not us time. It's just my time. When I go to bed early, it's because I'm going to
bed. I need a second. I feel that. Sybil.
It's not a signal.
I was not trying to alert you here.
That was just for me. That was me for me, because me. All right. Anybody else have anything they want to share?
That's good right there. That's absolutely right. They think it's a signal. It's not a signal.
That wasn't no.
I didn't throw up the cat. It's not a signal.
I have a question.
You done
Yes.
crocheting, Marlene? I'm joking. Go ahead.
I actually am. I literally just finished. But I have a question about chores. Like my daughter is 14 and I've never made her do any of that stuff. And now it's starting to get to me because I'm like, I'm so stressed. I'm doing everything. And I'm just trying to figure out like how do I bring that into our relationship?
Yeah, girl. Okay, listen, I have a 14. You want me to take this, Jessica?
And then I'll jump on later. Yes, yes.
Okay, so because children, I think all of us appreciate merit-based relationships. Rewards come alongside, contribution, right? And so, in my household, our kids have the following responsibilities. Good character is a responsibility in this house. Good moral character is number one. How they show up at school, their academics and their scholar, that's number two. Number three is their connection to their household, like their ability to ensure that they're protecting the quality of life for everybody. So that's been ingrained. So when they are upholding those standards on school nights, they're taking care of their schoolwork. I ask them to just touch a few dishes, right? So just touch, make your bed up real quick. Nothing fancy. Just
Right.
just quick little touch ups during the week. All of these things qualify you for the things that you're going to ask me for over the weekend.
Oh, nice.
And now the requests are spilling into the week. Okay, you want to stay late for volleyball? How'd your room look this morning? Did you get a chance to wash those dishes last night? How's your bathroom?
That's good.
Yeah. And then the laundry part, because the laundry stacks. I know you have a 14-year-old, so the laundry stacks even more when they get older. It's like it's like having newborns again. And so that right. And so the laundry is on them. It's really like I didn't learn laundry till I went to college. And my mother loves doing laundry. She never taught me. I despise doing laundry. So it was easy for me to say, hey kids, let's go ahead and learn this laundry thing. Get your detergent. They each have their laundry kit. That's your detergent. That's your fabric softener. That's their kit. They manage their laundry, and you got your laundry done and it's folded and put away. Yeah, I can drive you to the thing, or yeah, we can go online and order some clothes, or yeah, you got time to watch TV.
I love that.
Yeah, yeah. Amaryllis, I know, has a system too.
Oh,
Yeah, well, I was gonna say, Marlene, that was good, Sybil. And I did teach my girls early because also it gives them a responsibility for their own things to say, hey, if you don't want your shorts in your daddy's drawer or in your sister's basket, you're responsible for your things from the beginning, from the washer to the dryer, to putting them back up.
Right.
But one thing my mom did for me was every time I asked her, she would ask me to do something. I would say, well, why? When I was in that phase, she would say, it's because it's for where you're going. I'm teaching you what you need to know to be an adult.
Yeah.
So remember, that was the answer. It wasn't about a chore. It wasn't about punishment. It wasn't about anything. I was being taught then how to take care of myself, which was important to me to be independent, right? So then I felt better when I was like, oh, I can do this by myself. I didn't need anybody's help, so I could wash the dishes and I could do so. And then when I got out on my own, those things became innate to me. So a 14-year-old, she's coming into her independence. Well, she's saying she doesn't need you in these other places. And if she's taught and equipped to not need you in these places, she may appreciate it if it's presented that way.
Yeah.
I love that.
It's empowering her to be more independent.
I love that. I absolutely love that. Marlene, I just want to add everything that Sybil and Emerald just mentioned 100%. As someone, my grandmother, I grew up with my grandmother, and she did everything for us, everything. So the dynamic of watching her do it when I got to college, I was like, ooh, I had a lot to learn, right? But now that I'm an adult with my own children, I see myself, even though I didn't like learning late in life, I still see myself repeating that pattern of doing everything for my family. And so what I would encourage you, because there may be something, we know that everything stems from something else from our childhood, right? So whatever it is, if you're feeling like, okay, I have to do this because of how I was raised as well, be mindful as you're encouraging her to do more things and learn that agency, that you're doing it, what Emerald's mentioned, you're doing this so that she can be prepared for her future. So
Mhm.
you don't have to feel guilty. You don't have to feel, because she gonna push back. She ain't done it in 14 years. There's gonna be a little pushback. So
Right.
Marlene, I want you to be ready for the pushback. It's okay.
Right.
And she remember
Before I've been putting it off.
that's okay. There's gonna be a little pushback. Get your mind right. Put your head in the game. There will be pushback, but do it alongside her sometimes, as well as remember you are preparing her for her future.
And celebrate her, because what I had to tell my son, so I say this all the time, I'm domesticating somebody's great husband. They're gonna be like so happy that my son is able to have an eye for certain things. And my daughter, she's gonna be an excellent steward over her life and her spouseship and her everything, right? But when they're doing it, I tell them it means the world to me. Thank you for supporting this household. Thank you so much for being such a good support. I love the way you support this, because I explained to them that our household is a community. You're community members, and everybody is a lead here. Everyone. I lead in certain areas, they lead, my husband leads different areas. So they're empowered to do it. And so to hear them correct each other on how they do the dishes cracks me up, because neither one of them are rock stars at it. But to hear them, can you wash that off when you put this in the sink? Just all those little things. It matters because they are setting standards, and I feel like they understand the importance of being an active member of a community. And it actually is part of their grooming. How you keep your home is a part of how you keep yourself,
Amen.
Yeah.
That's good.
You got this,
Thank
Marlene.
you all so much. Thank you all so much.
I appreciate you asking, even sharing. That was good. That was definitely good and relatable. So you're not alone.
Nuh-uh.
You are not alone.
I love this community.
We love you too. Anyone else have a question or something they want to share? Anyone else?
I was going to share it before Marlene asked the question about you got into mindfulness, which is a big thing for me. And I didn't realize, it had a title growing up, but the breathing and the coming into space and centering yourself. And so to me, in the day when I can't steal away and do the self-care routine and put myself on the schedule, I'm very, very engaged in staying in my breath work. Being mindful of the moment and what am I feeling? What emotion is that? Is that anger? Is that resentment? Am I sleepy and need a nap, Sybil? I am very. And last week I had a moment and I felt myself in this space, and I realized, okay, what is this? Oh, I'm hangry right now. I need to go get something to eat. So being mindful of I'm feeling something, and what is that, to regulate my emotions, to bring me back into the space, to be able to function, do the things I need to do during the day, is key for me. And breathing. And I taught my girls when they were little. My middle girl, she'll get mad like this. And I was standing in front of her and saying, okay, we're going to breathe. And saying even to her then, you're going to need this for the rest of your life, to know how to calm yourself down and to have control so you can think about how you want to react and respond. And so some of that self-care is keeping us, is releasing the stress, right? And letting the world, okay, that's not going to stress me out today, and living in a place where the stress is released, where you can be in control of it. Even when I can't get into the light, the candle lit bubble bath and all that, keeping it throughout the day just as free and relaxed as possible is self-care for me.
That's so good, Marilyn.
Those life ready skills, we talk about college and career readiness. Baby, are our children life ready? Our me time teaches our children to be life ready. It's critical how to treat themselves in addition to how to regulate themselves. You hit it. You said it. Y'all have made me feel so good today. I know I was supposed to be pouring into you all, but you all poured into me as well today. So thank you.
Honey, let's give it up for Jessica. Woo! Jessica, this was wonderful. This was so good. Life ready skills is so important. I love that. I love that because one of the things that you said early was that most of us inherited a system of working. And we saw these women that worked. And they made us life ready to work. And now we get to disrupt that pattern and teach our children and give them a legacy of care and nurture that we want them to pass on to their children, still getting the work done, still caring about all the things that matter, still changing and influencing politics and, being present in our communities and doing all the things that we're called to do, but also having recognition for the importance of quality time with ourselves. Yeah. So I just want us to, for everybody that's in here and everyone's on Facebook, could you just take a second and breathe with me? We're just going to take a quick moment to just be in the moment. Just take a deep breath in and hold it, and a deep breath out. It's funny because my dog is over here doing it on his own. Deep breath in and hold it. Deep breath out. This last breath, I want us to just think about the gift that we gave ourselves in this experience and the ability to set aside time to be present for yourself and how valuable that is. And take and the gratitude that you have to you and to Jessica for what was presented today. So let's just take a deep breath in. Hold that gratitude and a deep breath out. So good. Ooh. Jessica, thank you so much. We are so grateful to you for stepping in, and kind of feel like you had this in your back pocket already. You like, oh, you got 7 points on off the bat line. Like
I say it's a God thing. It's a lived experience thing. God lived experience thing.
Honey, you really hit home today. And Alicia, again, we are covering you. We really hope you feel better. We hope your family feels better. Great girlfriends, you might be thinking, how can I make sure that I let the world know that this was amazing? I know you were thinking that, so I feel like I should tell you to say, go on Facebook inside the group and just drop a quick post about what you learned today or what hit home for you or what resonated. Make sure you tag Jessica in it. It just takes a second, just a takeaway from this that you think another woman might want to benefit from. And I also want to say that you hit on something that I think we should at another date touch on, which is caregivers and balancing like what that looks like for caregivers, the emotional drain, the mental strain of it, the pressure of being a caregiver, of recognizing that there's a transition happening in some form or fashion, having to deal with those things, and then embracing what is the new. So we will deal with that in another session, but I want to thank you all so much for jumping in today to spend this time with us. We are going to make this a podcast episode because it was fabulous. So that will be coming out hopefully in October. So we'll be on the lookout for that. And thank you for joining us. And thank you, Jessica.
All right, great girlfriends. Did you enjoy this week's episode of the podcast? If so, would you please give us your amazing review on iTunes? Every single review helps another great girlfriend get plugged into the podcast and the community. Speaking of community, make sure you join our Facebook group at The Great Girlfriends. Follow us on Instagram at The Great Girlfriends and on Twitter at @the_great GFS. I'm Sybil Amuti and I'm out. Peace.